Are you where you're
Okay, so I really should do this one first.
You should. Did you turn your keep drums back on? You did. All right.
Now
You're going back to that.
Finally getting justice for Natalie. Matt Napolitano, Fox News.
Let's see which one goes to you.
A Black Lives Matter protester in 2020 has been sentenced to 25 years
That's okay.
in prison in Texas.
You hear it? You hear it? You good here?
Give him yours, and then no, him yours.
Oh.
And then Jeff can give you those, and I can give Jeff these. Jeff can keep your headphones.
Accused of the murders of her 7-year-old
One of those.
son.
Give Jeff keep your headphones, and then you take these.
Okay.
Went missing in 2019 and
You killing me, Smalls.
I know. There you go.
Prosecutors have spent 4 weeks detailing their
I got some pictures to show you. I found of you the other day
Did you?
when you were working first here at LX.
That's back when you was a photographer, right?
No, it's back.
you were?
Well, I was gone.
Instead arguing the
This would have been probably 98,
Well, you
99.
come in for one Christmas thing and took all of our stills and the.
Oh
and the-
yeah, I do have those too. Mhm.
Oh, so you have more candid pictures than that.
Yeah, I
Oh.
found some the other day.
Report in the NBA playoffs.
Okay, so let me look at this. I like to keep the door shut because it's this.
In hockey, Toronto and Florida avoid being swept. Inside Vegas.
All right.
I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Actually, the TV doesn't look bad up there
Alive
today.
and well on 105.3, 95.3
That's a lie.
WDXE.
All right, we are back and live. It's 8 o'clock. I have Keith Durham in the studio, and it's Let's Talk Lawrence County, I guess. That's what we're going to
Yeah,
do.
absolutely. That might be a good name for the show.
I kind of like it. Keith,
So-
you are hosting the show, and the microphone is yours, my friend.
Well, I appreciate that. We'll start off first. This show is brought to you today by Heritage Automotive Center in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. And our special guest today comes from Heritage Automotive, Mr. Kevin Smith. Good morning. And you guys may have noticed Kevin's voice with just those few words. He used to be a DJ here at the station.
Yeah. What's wrong? I'm not going to drag it the rest of the show, Jeff.
Okay, thank you.
The producer today is Charlotte Strimler. She is coming to you with this not hateful tone.
Just don't grab the microphone.
If this looks completely unscripted, it is.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
Just don't grab the microphone.
Oh, it's all right. Yeah. We're
Is that better?
We're used to that kind of stuff. Are you going to join us today, or are you?
No.
Okay, so you're just
well, I'm here.
choreographing
I'm
things
here.
for a little while.
Everybody's like, "Where's the camera?" Keith could not find the camera.
I could not find the camera. Am I looking at the camera?
Yes, hidden
Okay.
in plain sight.
Well, that's pretty cool. I've never seen anything like that. So,
you're a tech
nerd.
dude.
I'm a nerd. So.
I know. This is called an OWL camera. It is a 360-degree speaker with a 360-degree camera on it.
Oh,
It's
cool.
impressive. It's an impressive little piece of equipment.
And so, Keith, look at the
when I turn around and
computer
look,
screen right
Yeah, you
there.
can see what's up.
I see that.
It takes 3 different photographs of people talking, and it pans to whoever's talking, but we'll put 3 people's picture on the camera at the same time. Kevin, start talking.
Okay. Hey, and it looks like an owl too. I guess that's why it's called the owl camera.
It is. Look now. See, look up on the screen. See,
There I am.
There it takes. Now, Keith, start talking.
All right. The bad part about it, when I start talking, the more apparent it is that I need a haircut. So,
Do you want me to go get my scissors?
No, not by you. So.
Well, at least you don't need hair like I.
Well,
Exactly.
it's all kinds of fun.
Oh my goodness, that is pretty cool.
And if you're not, you're just hearing the radio portion. You can go to YouTube or go to and type in WDXE, and you will find what we're talking about. You can see our pictures on there. We're live on YouTube, and we're live on WDXE Facebook.
On WDXE Facebook. Okay, so my wife just had that question. Where are you live streaming at?
Facebook
or WDXE YouTube channel.
Okay.
And once you subscribe, it will start posting, it'll text you and tell you, or if you don't want text, it'll email you and tell you that we're live.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you're at Heritage, you can quit your jobs right now and stop what you're doing.
I know.
And find us.
Listen, I got my number 1 guy here today already, so we're already limping. So don't be saying anything like that.
I know. Well, recently, I'll tell you a funny story. It ain't funny. But there was a Kevin Smith who passed, and we're so sorry about that.
Yeah, he's a dear friend of ours.
And my dad came in my office. He goes, was that our Kevin Smith that we know? He goes, call Keith and ask him. And I'm like, most of the time, you cannot get Keith on the phone. So I called Tad. And I said, Tad, was that y'all's Kevin Smith? And he goes, no, thank goodness. He goes, it would be bad if it was. And I said, I know. So
Well, it's bad either way.
Yeah,
I know,
yeah,
but
bad
I'm
either
like,
way,
it would have
so.
been bad for heritage at y'all's
Yeah, absolutely.
time.
Absolutely.
So, but yes. So I mean, Kevin, we're glad it wasn't you.
I'm glad it wasn't me too.
But for the other Kevin Smith family, we are sorry.
Yeah. We went to school with Kevin Smith, and so
Yeah.
we all know Kevin, and he's just loved by everybody. He's one of those people that everybody loved, and so it's just a real loss for us. Absolutely.
So
And our class. He was a classmate of mine. All right, so
Okay.
Moving on to other things today.
Yeah, what do you got? What else you got?
So
over there?
listen, I want to talk about a couple things today. I want to get out. I want to get some things out there. And number one, on this show, we want to talk about what you want to talk about as the viewer or as a listener. If you got things you want to discuss on a local level, I don't like discussing national politics. There's enough of that on the air, and so if you got local stuff to talk about, especially politically, we can talk about those things and. Or anything else that you may want to talk about. But I want to talk about something today that's near and dear to my heart, just to begin with, and that's God's Storehouse. I'm on the God's Storehouse board, and so it's something that's not unique to our community, but it's something that is community supported, and 100% of the support that our community gives to God's Storehouse stays right here in Lawrence County and supports those people in Lawrence County that need help. And so there's two parts to God's Storehouse. There is the thrift store, and I don't know if you guys have ever been to the thrift store.
Oh yeah,
But there's also a food bank over on Frank Street.
that's right.
And so the thrift store is behind the square, and there's a lot of construction going on the square, and so there's some interruptions in our drop-off point. The drop-off point for the thrift store was in the back of the store. Well, the back of the store shares a parking lot with the new restaurant that's being built on the square, and they're building a patio out back, and so we're having to rethink how we bring things into the thrift store. So with that said, I went to my meeting last night, and donations are down a little bit, and we feel like it's because of the construction that's been going on and things not easily being dropped off. And so please know that the store is open, still accepting donations, especially donations. If you got a couch or a chair that's in good shape and you need to get rid of it, or kitchen appliances, anything like that, bring it down to God's Storehouse. It goes to benefit people in Lawrence County that really need help, and it's a great place to shop.
Currently, is the drop off still right where you've had it there all along?
It is. So we're working with the property owner to get a new drop off location. Either in the north parking lot or maybe working with the city to get one on the eastern roadside.
Okay.
That way it doesn't clog up the, if you've been in that back parking lot, it's pretty tight back there. And now that they've got all these restaurants and more people are parking back there, it just, it creates a little more congestion than what's there normally. So, let me continue now. I'll finish so God's Storehouse survives on people's donations, whether it be clothes or household furnishings or whatever, and food. And so, we have a food bank over on Frank Street, and everything that is sold out of the thrift store, that money goes to buy food to put in the food bank. And so, let me see if I got the numbers here. I think I may have left those numbers, but just this past month, over 700 families were served out of the food bank. They came through and got their boxes of food. And get this is a number that's growing inside of Lawrence County. Over 30 homeless, and these are people who are truly homeless, receive food and clothing from the God's Storehouse. And so that's something that is that's on its way up. That it's, for whatever reason, there's more and more homeless people. And just know that when you come to God's Storehouse and you shop at the thrift store, that money is going to do 100% of it is going right here in Lawrence County, and it's doing great things for the folks that are here in Lawrence County. So it's just a great organization to give to, and we just wanted to remind folks that we were still open for those.
It is. There's been a lot of good effort put into that, and the folks that have been volunteers for a long time that helped with that. And Keith, you've been a part of that. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's it's humbling to be a part of that. To be honest with you, every time I go to a meeting and I see the numbers grow, we serve 700 and something. That number continues to grow too, and it grows by 30, 40 families per month. And so, you think about, you see these things on TV, and you think that hunger and homelessness is somewhere in Skid Row in Los Angeles, or it's in Chicago or Portland. It's not. It's right here in our own hometown, as well as most everybody's hometown. There's this to some certain degree. So we want to make sure that what I consider to be a biblical thing that God tells us to do is to take care of those folks. And so
well, I'm really glad you brought that up. They haven't had a lot of publicity, really.
They haven't.
They really, really haven't. It's kind of just a word of mouth thing. If you know about it, you know about it. If you don't, you may not know about it. And it's a good effort right there. And it is a great place to take your donations. If you've got stuff that you just need to get rid of, and they'll help you unload it.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And even if you have something like you have an appliance or something that it's slightly broken or something like that, they have folks down there that can look at those things, and they will determine whether it's usable for another person or not. And so, a lot of times I look at my stuff and I say, that's not worth anybody else having, but they'll make that determination down there.
So they take anything, or?
Yeah, I think one of the things, I'm trying to think what they didn't take, televisions. I don't think they take televisions at all. Most, don't bring a broke TV down there, because they don't, and we're going to get into that a little bit later on. But
you can't get them fixed anyway.
Well, that's what we're going to.
Yeah, that's true.
We're going to talk about that a little bit too. So anyway, enough about God's storehouse. But listen, if you're there and you want to do something good for your community, and you maybe need a reason to get out of the house, round up some stuff and go donate it to God's storehouse. And listen, if you're out there and that's a great place to shop. We talk about donating, but it's a great place to shop. And they have got a dig location in there, and it's $5 a bag.
Just like the old-fashioned dig store.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can, whatever you stuff in the bag is $5.
That's
so
pretty cool.
where else can you go in town to get a bag full of clothes for your kids for $5? It's
nowhere that I know of.
Yeah, exactly. And then that $5 in turn goes to provide food for the food bank. So anyway, we really appreciate everything that's been done in the past, and everything will be done in the future also. And we give God all the glory for that. And we'll move on to a different subject if you want to, Joe. I don't know how commercial breaks are going to be structured here or anything like that.
Well,
so.
really, we don't. I'll check. I think we're okay for the moment.
Okay.
I'll check on it. But you're free to roam, and I'll tell you if we need to interrupt you. How about that?
All right, that's good. Well, I'm going to bring Kevin. Kevin Smith is what I consider our premier technician at Heritage Automotive. He's been there for how many years, Kevin?
How long?
I've only been there 5, so you were there before I got there.
Yeah. Well, actually, I started there when it was Cunningham's in '88, and I left for a while, and I come back, and I left, and I come back in '94. So that would be
wow, almost 30 years.
Yeah, it's coming up on 30 years.
Wow. So I didn't know you were that old, Kevin. So
Still younger than you.
I'm glad you settled down.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about some stuff that maybe you don't even want to talk about today, because the automotive world's moving into EVs.
Oh.
And Kevin has his location where you got 3 stalls or 3 or 4 places in our shop. And I call it right across the street. Right across the street from Kevin is going to be our new EV stall. And so Doss Brothers are there wiring that thing up and getting it ready. So look, I'm a nerd. I'm excited for the new EVs that's going to be coming in.
I am not.
Tell me why. I don't understand that. I mean,
well, I've become, when I started in '88, I've become that grumpy old man that was there when I got there. And I had Mr. Craig in high school for my automotive teacher, and he was talking about when he was working in a dealership, which was Lloyd Carroll's, if y'all remember that, down there on the south end of town. He worked there, and he was talking about, they come in there and they was telling us about this new stuff. The transmission will shift automatically. I told him it's not going to work.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. He was there when automatic transmissions come out and stuff, and it was the newfangled thing, and he told me that wasn't going to work. And of course now everything has automatic transmission in it. So I've become him, I guess. But I mean, I know it's coming. It's eventually going to get there. I think they're pushing it real hard right now, and the batteries and all that stuff is not there yet. But I mean, of course, they got to do to evolve. You have to do stuff.
Yeah.
So.
You know, the only thing I don't buy into on the whole EV movement, the only thing I don't buy into is the environmental impact of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, everything that we have as human beings, everything that we have, everything that you eat, everything that you've got on your body right now, all the clothing that you have, your cell phone, all this equipment that we're talking into, the car we drive around, every single component of that came from the ground.
Right.
And so will everything that goes into these EV cars. Everything will come from the ground. So you can't, in my mind, you can't sit back and rest on your laurels that, oh, we're going to quit disrupting the earth by going into an EV phase. You know, it doesn't calculate.
I agree with that.
There. So.
And you still got to generate the power somehow. Of course, here we're lucky because we have TVA with the dams and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of places it's coal-fired plants and stuff like that. So you're still developing pollution to generate electricity to power the car. So
absolutely, yeah. So it's a huge argument. But then on the flip side, what if we had lived 100 years ago, and we were driving horse and buggies around, and somebody says, "Hey, we got this." Well, my first thing would be, well, that thing won't be able to go where my horse goes, so you guys can forget it. But, look how it evolved then.
Right,
so,
yeah.
But even when it gets down to the technology, and I've thought about this from time to time, even when it gets down to the technology, think about what happens inside an engine. All it is controlled explosions. I mean, you got,
That's right.
I mean, if you're doing 1,000 RPMs, and you got an 8-cylinder, how many explosions is that per minute, 4,000 explosions per minute. So there's got to be some better way of thinking about propelling something without exploding something. So I like that mind thought, and I like that, the EV vehicles are taken away from that. I like that portion of it. But
what is not the electrical part? Is that not explosions of atoms and stuff like that?
No, there's more of attraction and repulsion, I guess, is I don't even know what the terminology there would be.
Careful what you say there.
Yeah, exactly. There would be no emission. During an explosion, there's an emission of something that takes place, but not in that. So
what do you do if it catches on fire then?
you hopefully get out of there quick, because listen, you bring up a good point, because batteries burn white hot instantly.
Right.
So there is no, well, it's getting warm in here. It's all of a sudden, if you have a short in your battery, it's hot, and it's hot now, and it's melting your clothes and shoes. You better get out. I don't want to scare anybody, but that's just the way those batteries burn.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway.
And the batteries to do this is very big batteries. It ain't like the normal car battery. It's like the whole floorboard of the car.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then that catches on fire.
You're in trouble.
And not a lot can put it out.
Yeah. What I'm interested in is the maintenance of it going forward. We don't know what that looks like yet. Even though we're in the industry, we really don't know what it looks like. We know the equipment that General Motors in this case says that you have to have. So to work on an EV car, you got to have a forklift.
Right.
So
for the weight.
Yeah, exactly.
What about, have you heard anything or kept up with any of the hydrogen-powered development?
Go ahead, Kevin.
You used to hear a lot about that, but everybody has shifted just to electrical now. GM doesn't even talk about it anymore because they're concentrating all on electrical.
Yeah, and I don't understand that. There's more conspiracy theories, I guess, that hover around the hydrogen-powered vehicles than anything else, and it has to do with the lobbyists of the oil companies and things like their energy companies and things like that. I don't know that I buy into that yet. I haven't studied up on that, but I mean, it makes sense, but I don't know how true that stuff is. So.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's hard to know. There's so much information in so many directions. It's hard to know what to believe about some things.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. Well, Kevin, this is going to touch base with you a little bit here too. So I don't know if you guys know, but there is another push. Last year there was a big push for the Fair Repair Act. and in Washington, D.C. And basically, it is a consumer's right to repair the stuff that they buy. It affects us in a certain way because, as you know, with the vehicles that we sell and service, there are things that are only OEM serviceable, period. And then there's things that you can do aftermarket. Apple seems to be at the heart of this whole debacle.
Yeah,
because
I see that.
And I'm not an Apple guy at all. Are you? Are you?
Oh man, yeah.
See, I'm not. I'm an Android, Samsung Android type guy.
I couldn't make a phone call on an Android phone.
Yeah, you could after a while.
Well, you can do an iPhone after a while. A smart guy like you.
But see, here's the deal, and this is just totally opinionated, but you know, I've been messing with devices my whole life, and ever since the inception, Apple has been proprietary. Everything that they have is proprietary to them. Anytime, you know, they want you to get your phone fixed by them. And what's driving this is that consumers are paying thousands of dollars for a cell phone or for a television. We won't just narrow down Apple. We'll just say TVs. And you know, I got a little repair shop that I tinker with and repair things in. But you cannot go online and get a schematic for an Apple device or or for a Samsung TV or anything like that. So it really binds the consumer. So the consumer, what they want you to do is they want you to be captive to them. And so they want, you know, you have no control over when the next OS comes out that renders your device, you know, inept or whatever. Mm-hmm. So what do you have to do? As a consumer, your choice is go get another one or do without the, do completely without the apps that don't work. So. You know, so that's unfair, and it's also unfair to say, like right now, if you wanted your phone repaired, you would have to take it to an Apple store or to somewhere where they service their things, and so. You know, and we do that, you know, in our business. Yeah. You know, General Motors, if you're under warranty, you have to take it to a General Motors dealer. You know, and that makes sense, but there's an air of it that, hey, if I pay thousands of dollars for something and I own it, I ought to have the right to fix it the way I want to, you know.
So you don't really want me fixing it.
No, I agree. Me either, you know. So.
I'm like Andy Griffith. Call the man.
Exactly. Just call the man.
Call the man.
Yeah, just call the man. That is funny.
Oh. But it's swing back around to the cars, you know, that's kind of like Tesla's like that.
Yeah.
You know, if you want anything done, you can't just go to the Walmart and get your Tesla serviced. You have to find a Tesla repair shop. So.
Right, exactly. So, you know, it even comes down, I saw a story this morning where the European Union is requiring Apple, this is the first time that a government entity is now requiring Apple to use USB-C. So, you know, Apple for years has had a proprietary a port on the bottom of their devices, you know, the latest versions are those Lightning ports, and so you know, you can't, as a manufacturer, you just can't go out and make a Lightning port. And so some of the debate on this is, or some of the things that's coming out of it is that Apple says, okay, we'll comply with the USB-C requirement for the EU, but it has to be our cable. If you buy a third-party cable, we're going to restrict the data flow because of safety reasons. Now, why would data flow endanger anybody? You know, why would you have to restrict the data flow if you didn't have a Apple cable?
Right,
you know,
keep it safety for their income.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. And listen, I don't mean to be singling out Apple at all.
Well, that sounds like what you're doing.
It is. It does.
You Android people.
There's a lot of things. Hey, listen, in Texas is coming out. A lot of states are doing it on their own. They're not waiting on the federal government to do it. They're doing it on their own. They're in Texas and Washington State. Believe it or not, Microsoft has jumped on the right to repair bandwagon, and I guess to a certain extent. And that, you know, I've used Microsoft products my whole life, and it's not the conversation that we're having is not limited to just physical devices. It could be software also. So, Microsoft opened up their source years ago, so you can write programs that built around their, I guess, their platform, but nobody else has. And so, they just, and they're jumping on the bandwagon for right to repair, and I appreciate that, because I'm one of those guys. I like to fix my stuff, and I like to be able to get online and find parts for my stuff.
Keith, I will tell you, I had trouble with my iPhone. I use an iPhone, and I had trouble. I dropped a plate out of the cabinet and it hit my screen, broke the screen.
Yeah.
And I found a repair guy that works out of the back of his truck to fix it.
Yeah, but he didn't put a real part on it.
No, but I can't tell the difference.
No, exactly.
So, I mean, you can get them repaired, but it won't be an original part or an OEM part.
And if you ever, so let's just say that that falls into your warranty period. If something goes wrong that you have to have warranty work done on it, now guess what?
Oh, yeah.
You're in trouble.
Well, you're in trouble either way, I'm telling you.
So,
And that has happened to people's cars. They
Yeah.
modify it and void is a warranty.
yeah, exactly. And,
Which I understand. I mean, because if you start doing stuff to it, I'm not going to cover your glass on your phone because you had to put it on somewhere else. And that guy didn't cover it for Apple when he put it on there. So
Right.
yeah.
Right.
And the Texas law, it covers things like next ownership type things. So, the right to repair, you can do anything that you want to do to your vehicle, but I guess you can't do things that would keep the next owner. Like you can't put a steel rod in and just take your shocks completely out. You can't weld this steel thing to your frame, because
right, yeah.
the
Then you
next
wouldn't have
guy,
no suspension.
Then you would have no suspension, and the next guy's like, "What in the world am I going to do with this car?" So they're working on the confines of that.
Well,
So.
yeah, that'd be interesting because how do you determine the next guy? Because the next guy might not want a lift kit on it.
Yeah, you're
So,
right. You're right.
I mean,
And the next guy may want OEM stuff on
right,
it.
yeah.
So,
Keith,
exactly.
if you want a break,
Yeah.
we can take a quick break and
Sure.
get the weather in and a couple of things,
Okay.
and we can come back if you like.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some deep stuff. Coming back, get you some coffee, and we'll be right back.
All right.
You may plan on digging it, like build an addition, put it in a pool, or bury your pirate booty above.
My
You
wife,
should know that throughout the country there may be pipelines buried underground, and if you hit one, you've got trouble. So before you dig, call 811 to have any buried pipelines located and marked at no charge. For more tips on pipeline safety, visit pipesafety.org. A message from the Tennessee Gas Association, Tennessee Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
Hey folks, this is Jason Duke from Swap and Shop Center in Lawrenceburg. Since 1950, my family has served you with the finest furniture, electronics, appliances, and outdoor equipment from quality name brands like Husqvarna, Ashley, Samsung, Jameson, Speed Queen, and many
You're
more.
only on a
One
break
thing that
on the
hasn't
radio.
changed in 70 years is that we still do business the same way we do.
Just say that.
No, we didn't know that.
Except
That's
for all
always
your
good enough.
loyal listeners,
Don't say
followers.
anything.
So don't say nothing dirty one another.
I'm just saying, don't say nothing about your wife. Don't say nothing about you.
Well, what if it's something good?
I mean, that's always because everybody talks great about their wife.
What's pretty cool is everybody just got to see what happens whenever the radio
Right,
station
everybody gets
goes
on
to
their
break.
phones.
Everybody gets on their phones.
Scary part about breaks.
Well, that was a bit of information to know there. Thank you.
I should really put a banter up that says you are never on break in the live. I was watching y'all.
Thank you.
Partly sunny with highs in the lower 80s. Increasing rain chances for Saturday and especially Sunday as the cold front drops in. Showers and thunderstorms likely each day, but it won't rain all day each day.
So that means she made the live feed.
And then that front drops us back into the upper 70s by early next week with a few scattered showers and thunderstorms possible Monday and Tuesday. All the latest weather at TNValleyweather.com.
Thank you, Fred. You're listening to WDXE and Keith Durham with Let's Talk Lawrence County show going on right here. Sponsored by Heritage Automotive and Mr. Keith
We
Durham.
need to have a contest to
as
name
your
this
host.
show.
Yeah, because I don't think we've talked about Lawrence County too much.
Whatever we're going to name it.
I don't know. Don't ask Kevin.
Oh, you gotta ask me.
No,
I gotta know.
don't do it. So,
The No Name Show. I
he,
guess.
yeah.
Well, something like that. Yeah.
It's
You know,
okay.
It's got something to do with biscuits and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and being unclothed.
Coffee and a biscuit.
Coffee and a biscuit.
Keith
Oh,
Durham.
it's something like that.
New
yeah.
day. Oh my goodness. So let me ask you guys a question, and y'all be honest with me. How has artificial intelligence infected your life? Or
Well, I feel better
affected
about
your
it
life?
now.
You feel better about it.
Yeah.
That's what they told him to say.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, they put Kamala Harris in charge of it. That's what I heard.
Oh well, I didn't know that.
That gave it
So
a
that's,
totally new meaning to
man,
artificial
I need
intelligence.
to start watching the news or something. My goodness, that's crazy.
I'm just kidding.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm.
Maybe that is artificial
I don't know.
intelligence.
I could have made that up.
So I'm going to just go out on a limb here, and I'm going to guess that everybody that's watching this or listening to this on radio, that your life is impacted by artificial intelligence today, maybe in ways that you don't even know. So
I'm sure it is.
especially if you own a phone, a cellular phone.
Yes.
So
And who doesn't?
So here's a good example. Have you ever been talking about a subject and all of a sudden it pops up on your phone?
Exactly.
I've
Yeah.
had this conversation. So
Oh yeah.
so that is a form of AI. What about have you ever been typing something and correct it for you?
Yeah. Or you just started it, it automatically guess the word that you're wanting.
Okay, so now if you notice, they not only get the word, they get close to about what you want to say,
Exactly.
and all you got to do
it
is
could be 2 or 3 words.
because I was watching my daughter text, and I'm like, how are you texting that in like 2 seconds? And it's already assumed what she wants to say, and all she has to do is hit a button and it goes.
Mm-hmm.
So AI is more prevalent in our life than probably want to. But listen, it's evolving quickly. Elon Musk warned us that this was going to happen, and he still is warning people that he feels like that's one of the things that's going to, number one, affect society the most as the Lord gives us another day and we live another day. That's going to be one thing that affects us the most going into the next generation is the effects of AI on our daily lives. And it's just, so I signed up last night. Google has this thing called Google Search Labs. I don't know if you've seen that or not, but I use Google Search Engine because I carry an Android, and Android is, Google makes Android.
Right.
And so I joined the Search Labs, and what they do is that they are testing new AI in those labs, and so it's just amazing what you can do with that. And so I'll give you an example. Let's say somebody gives you a task, and you can see these online too. Let's say somebody gives you a task. Kevin, will you go write a job description for somebody that does a job just like you? And all you got to type in is job description for a certified General Motors mechanic. That's all you got to type in, and this AI will build this profile
I've
for you.
seen that.
And
some of the kids are using it to write papers for school.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I wish I had it.
Yeah, exactly. Or if you want to, if you're writing a book, and you want to, all you got to do is give the things that you want to transpire in the chapter, and it'll write a book around that. And here's what's weird about it, Jeff, is that it gets all this information online, and it can compose this stuff without plagiarizing anything.
Yes.
That is unbelievable. Really? Yeah.
So it won't copy nobody.
It may copy ideas and things like that.
Oh,
so those are the things that they're testing.
It gathers information, but it doesn't actually copy.
Yeah. So like if you were trying to let's say that you were trying to build that job description for you, it wouldn't just go out to another dealership and grab their job description over and paste it into your thing. It would tailor it around where you're sitting, the company you work for, all of those things. It would tailor that whole thing around it. It's unbelievable.
I've got a job description I'm going to have it do. Do you know the websites that you can go to do this?
It's all still in testing right now. Are you asking me?
Well, no,
Yeah.
I've seen because like I said, some of these college kids have been using it so there's something out there.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, there's a couple of websites. I've been on one myself where I put in some criteria and asked it to write something, and it wrote it up.
Okay, yeah. So the search, now what I'm talking about today is the search portion of it.
Okay.
So think about this. And we see it to a certain extent, even today, outside of the test lab. I don't know how much you use Google Maps, but your searches in Google and Google Maps, I don't know. It's almost like reading your mind where you want to go. So even if it's and it's hard to explain. Let's say that I wanted to do a search on missionaries in Africa or something like that. So
Yes.
I'm telling you, it will it will read your mind, but it also will tailor it to you. All right, so I probably shouldn't have used that as an example, but let's say that we had something that had some type of sexual innuendo or content that you were looking for something not related to that, but may have used some of the same words. It knows enough about you to filter out those things and steer you in that direction to where you wanted to search. I mean,
it's collected enough data from your searches and phones and whatever you've done that it's built a profile on you whether you know it or not.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So you need to use it to name this show. Give it your criteria.
Yeah, give us a criteria. Let's use it to
and
name the show.
Punch it in there and see if mine comes up.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it on the air. Oh my goodness. But you know, I don't know even where to go with that.
Oh, I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No, but what I'm saying is that you know, the effects of AI are on us every single day. Microsoft has already integrated AI into our email. I can get an email and it has already read my email. This is what's scary. The AI has already read my email and it knows that a good short reply is, yes, I'll be there. I'll put that on my calendar. So they already have generated replies to that email where I don't even have to type anymore. I can touch my screen and it will make the correct reply for me.
I use that sometimes.
Yeah, and see, you know, they had to read the content of that email in order to put those replies there.
Yeah. I kind of gave up a long time ago and realized that whatever you do in the electronic world, online or anywhere else, is watched and heard and listened to by something or somebody.
Oh, I
and you just gotta know that.
I guarantee you.
No matter what it is.
Yep.
So that's why you can't be too careful. That's why I'm really careful with my kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why people should really monitor that. I may be taking you in a different direction.
No, that's fine.
But you can't be too careful about the information you use on the internet.
100%, and because you never know who's on the other side.
Exactly.
You know, especially when your kids are involved, you never know who's on the other side. I'm always going to my son's room and I'm saying, "Who are you playing with?"
Yep.
You know, he creates these groups, and you can only allow certain people into those groups and stuff like that. But sometimes I hear a strange voice, and because he has his speakers on, you know, and I hear a strange voice, and I say, "Who is that?" You know,
who is that?
Yeah,
that's right.
Tell me who that is.
Yeah.
A real deep voice.
Yeah. What are y'all boys doing?
Yes.
Oh, man. That is so
So
funny.
does he does like the fighting games and stuff and fights with his friends?
So let me tell you, it was real crazy. So we got about 5 or 6 guys, or Spencer, I say we, because I'm one of the, when they come over, I'm one of the kids, you know. So Spencer's got 5 or 6 kids, you know, close-knit friends, and just like everybody does, got 4 or 5 close-knit friends in middle school, and they all play the same games, and so they all wanted to spend a night the other night. So okay, yeah, you can spend a night. So we had 3 guys, and so one is in our living room. He brought his own PlayStation and hooked up to the TV in the living room. One is in Spencer's room. He brought his own Xbox and hooked up to TV in Spencer's room. And Spencer's on the computer under the stairs. He's got a game room under the stairs, and they're all playing each other in different rooms. They all got headphones on and they're screaming at the top of their lungs. I'm like, y'all could have just stayed home. You know, and if you ain't gonna be out in the yard running around, you could have just stayed home and done whatever.
You go out there and get sticks, run around the yard and shoot each other.
And the only difference is that you know, I go to get a Little Debbie snack cake, and it's like a tornado sucked everything out of the pantry. There's nothing, absolutely nothing in there.
Okay,
it's like
new diet you're trying now.
Look, the milk jug is next to the garbage can because it's empty. I mean, my goodness. So you know, the perils of having an 11-year-old.
Oh,
So,
my goodness.
One of our listeners out there texted me and said this YouTube chat's being monitored too.
oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
So because we're on YouTube now. and
Yeah.
not
yeah.
Facebook.
Oh yeah. We'll probably get a bunch of hate mail from Apple and stuff like that. I don't hate Apple. I think it's cool, but I'm a fix-it guy. I want to be able to fix stuff.
Well,
and fix it right.
There's been this ongoing clash between Apple and the other guys since its inception.
Oh yeah. And I've been on the other side. I'll just be honest with you. I've been on the other side.
Have you?
Yeah, I'm not on
You
the other
loved
side.
it, didn't you? It scared
I'm
you.
still
so-
there. I'm
oh.
still there. I'm still there.
Honestly, my first smartphone was an Apple phone, and that's just what I learned to use. I've never been on any other kind of phone.
Did you ever have like a bag phone or a car phone?
Of course
or
I
anything?
did.
There you
I was
go.
hip
The
and
bag
trendy.
phone, I remember those.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
I even go back for. I had the one mounted in your truck.
Really?
Yeah, it was a humongous thing.
So mine was in a bag.
And then I graduated to a bag phone, and then I got rid of the bag phone and got the big brick. You remember them, the big yellow
Yeah.
brick? Oh man, I thought I was trendy then.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Where did
Go to a
you?
restaurant, sit up on the table. That's it, right?
I mean, when you walked around, where'd you put the thing?
You couldn't put it in your pocket or nothing. You carried it like a brick.
You club people with a head
Yeah.
with it or whatever. Oh my goodness, that's fun.
Yeah, those big ones looks like those World War II walkie-talkies.
Exactly.
there.
Yeah.
Great big thing with an antenna
Yeah.
on top. Yeah.
Call the sergeant. Tell him we need some ammo.
Retreat.
We're under fire.
Man, what gets you though is that technology existed years ago. That amazes me. That's one thing about technology that amazes me, is that the folks back in the 30s and 40s were so smart.
Oh yeah.
When they designed this stuff, it was unbelievable. Think about being in the 60s. Well, take all of technology. We can all agree that technology has just leaps and bounds grown over our lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
So think back in the 60s when the task was put a man on the moon,
Do you believe we actually went to the moon?
Oh my!
I lobbed that
goodness.
one over, didn't I?
Yep.
Yeah, thanks for that. I'm going to have to say, I think so, because
Well, can you not look in the telescope and see stuff on the moon that we left there? All the trash and stuff?
That's what I wonder. Can you?
I've never had a telescope.
I've tried to find images of that. If somebody could do it, like you can't find them. That I can find anyway.
Yeah, but I don't know. You'd have to have one powerful telescope.
Well, we got the Hubble up. We got the Hubble telescope.
That's
up
way
there.
beyond the moon. That's gone.
Well,
Well,
surely
I mean-
you're swinging around and looking back at the moon.
I know. I think it's on a one-way
No,
trip.
we got satellite. I mean, satellite telescope. We got telescopes up there now.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, and we won't get into that. How do we? Man, we have segued away
That was
from
my
everything
fault.
that we've
That
done
was
all
my
that.
fault. I'm
I'm
sorry.
No,
glad you got
you're
that
good.
list wrote down.
Yeah, we ain't even got to the list yet. My goodness. But
And I've only had one cup of coffee today.
me too. And I feel like I've had 10. But think about this. I think that the folks had it right several years ago. The next battle that we face, I don't think it's going to be a war of men on the ground. I think what we need to do is get a spaceship up in the air and just play. You remember the game Asteroid, where you floated around this ship, went pew 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 pew, and just shot things. I think you just float around the spaceship and shoot everybody's satellites down, because it'll cripple the whole, it cripples the whole place. You just knock the satellites down, you knock the internet down, you knock the tracking down, everything like that. So then what they do, they can't do nothing. You can't drive a ship without it. You can sail around
the
the world
battles.
without it.
The battles will be fought with boys sitting in a room with their remote controls.
Exactly right.
That's how the battles are going to be fought, probably.
Exactly right. So,
And I think I think the UFOs are us.
are us.
They're us.
So, did you see the UFO video where they showed that UFO and I don't know, it looked like an orb just flying through this.
I saw it.
So I've got my own theories on that, but they play tricks with angles there. My opinion on that was an object falling straight down.
Probably.
And it was falling straight down, and when you pan out, it looks like it's falling, or it doesn't look like it's falling, it looks like it's moving horizontally against the ground, but it's not. It's falling straight down. So anyway,
You used to the saying used to believe, don't believe what was it? Don't believe only believe half of what you hear and none of how does that go? What is it? I can't remember. I can't remember.
I'm not believing anything you're saying, Jeff. What are you talking about? Don't
believe anything you read and half of what you see.
It's something like that. You can't even believe what you see anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so now that you say that, that brings me into to the next subject. It's called deep fake. So we talked about AI a little bit
Deep
today.
fake. That's what I'm going to ask you about.
So, all right, so you're going to talk to me about deep fake. All right, so let's get a conversation going. Tell me what you know about it, and then because I don't know a lot about it.
Well,
I know some about
I
it.
just recently read a little article about it,
Okay.
and it's actually where you can take an image of you,
That's right.
and create you doing something and show you doing it that you didn't do.
That's correct. Especially moving your mouth.
Right.
And so they can take a pic. I can take a picture of you right now, Kevin, and I could take a deep fake AI, and I can make you say, "I love Ford cars. I love working on Ford cars."
Wonderful.
Wonderful. So
That's why I'm saying we got to a place where you're not going to be able to believe what you
Right.
see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I could do that to anybody.
So now what they're doing is now they're taking the video and they're using the blockchain to encrypt the videos so that they can't be deep faked. And so, where's this world going to?
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable.
I'll believe it when I see it. That's what I was trying to figure out to say.
Well, you were way away from
I was
this.
all
Yeah.
over the board. Like I said, I've only had one cup of coffee. So.
Oh, my. So yeah, just watch out if somebody's taking your picture and you got your mouth open. When they take the picture, you're going to be subject to some deep fake AI because they're probably.
Well, I mean, you don't have to have your mouth open. Have you seen it? I've seen it on Facebook. They advertise it where you can take your old pictures of old and you can make them animated.
Yeah, that's spooky looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the next version of Android that comes out. So if you're like me and you have an Android phone, the next version of Android will have a version of that on there. So just let you know before that happens. There will be some. I wouldn't categorize it as deep fake, but it is AI, and they'll do the exact same thing, like on the backgrounds or the wallpaper of your phone. If I put a picture of you on there, that phone is capable of knowing what's in the foreground, what's in the background, and it looks like you're moving.
It,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and you can edit or do what, and I can drop you in New York City, and it looks like you're in the middle of New York, and not only it's not just a 2D image where you're sitting. Where it just shows a picture of you with the background in New York, it will allow the background to be separate from the foreground, and it looks like you're standing from the eye viewpoint. It looks like you're standing in New York, not just New York as your background.
Because they already have the capability to edit it to. Like you take a picture at the beach, and there's a guy in the background. You don't want him. You can take it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it look, you can never tell.
Like you're the only one on the beach.
Yeah. Like you're there all by yourself.
That happened with us yesterday. We were eating together. I had Teresa, my wife, and Daniel, and my grandbaby Shepherd. And Teresa took a picture of me and Shepherd together with our heads together. But there was three older ladies behind us in the booth behind us. And when she took the picture, all my eyes went to this lady that was watching us take the picture. So I took the phone and blew it up, and I said, "Look what you took a picture of." And I just had to, just the lady.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, me. You know, I try to, when I take pictures, I try not to get anybody, and it's hard to do, you know, especially like if you're at Disney or at the beach or wherever, you're just going to get other people in your picture. You just might as well, and we'll get them, maybe next week we'll talk about Disney, and because that's a total different world to me.
So you think he's still alive too?
It's a small world after all.
So, you know,
He's frozen.
I'm just saying from the standpoint, I had to go to Disney to realize I hated kids and crowds. I'm just kidding. There's
You
a
know,
lot
we've never been.
You've never been?
I've never been.
Never been.
Wow.
Been to Opryland.
Been to Opryland too.
Dollywood.
It's pretty close.
Dollywood, yeah.
It's pretty close. I didn't give you some, listen, the only tip I can give anybody, there's probably a bunch of people listening that's going to Disney. If you've got an itinerary, rip it up. Do not go down there and have an itinerary. You'll have the worst time of your life. You will be wore out. I'll tell you, I'll give you a good example. First time we ever went to Disney, we're like everybody else. Oh, we gotta go here. We gotta meet this character, get our picture made. We gotta go here and eat. Basically, it was get your picture made, run to the next place, and get your picture made, and then run to go eat, and then get out of there and run and stand in line for a ride for an hour, and then run over here. it runs us to death, to be
Sounds
honest
like
with
a
you.
good time.
So, you know, we
So you
stayed.
went on an exercise vacation.
Yeah, so
Hey, lost weight.
when we went down there, the very first time we stayed in All-Star Movies, and if you're a Disney person and you're listening to this, you know where the All-Star Movies is. They're pretty neat little hotel rooms, about the size of this room right here, that the studio that we're in.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm just like one of those guys. Sharing a bathroom is, you know, I don't like sharing a bathroom, but I do. You know, it's my family and stuff like that. But if I don't have to, I don't. But anyway, and also sharing a bed. So we had like 2 beds, and there's 4 of us, and you know, that's okay. But I'm telling you, at the end of the day, if they would have drew a box out in the parking lot and said, "This is where you're going to lay down," absolutely, I got no problem. Just, I'm ready to lay down. That's how bad it was.
Okay, I got to swing back around.
Okay,
I've finally been fixed on my thinking on that a while ago.
Okay.
It's nothing you hear and half of what you see.
Okay.
That's what it was.
So that's gonna evolve.
So I had to reboot.
That statement will evolve quickly, I believe. I
Yeah,
think it's
we're
going to
gonna
evolve to don't believe anything you see,
Yeah.
half of what you hear.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you, Mean Joe, for helping me there.
Yeah, Joe's a good guy.
Yeah. Y'all know Mean Joe, I bet.
Do I know Mean Joe?
Well, he delivers parts for O'Reilly's.
We've probably
So
seen him.
You've probably seen him. I figured in the auto mechanic business, you may have run
we use
across him.
O'Reilly's every once.
So, you know, we just talked about not liking to share a bed and stuff like that. My wife texts me, says, "I'm watching you." so make sure you behave. But she knows, hey, listen, I you know, just so people, you know, you got to know, since we're going to have this show every week, you got to know a little bit about me. So, Amy and I have been married. I'm married to, I just I tell everybody this, I'm married above my raisin. I don't know about you guys, but
Most of us did.
yeah, exactly. And so, Amy and I have a unique marriage. We've been married 24 years, but and she's probably going to just run down the steps or something. But we've never shared the same bedroom because we have 2 totally different sleeping habits. And I don't know if you guys do that or not, but I'm telling you, it works for us. And it works for a lot of couples, I think.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Amy likes to have it dark. With nothing, you know, she has to have a fan blowing and stuff like that. But if I have a fan in the room, I get stuffed up and I can't breathe. Plus, I have the TV on and I'm reading, and I fall asleep at night with the light on, the TV on, and with a book. And so, you know, we have 2 totally different sleeping habits. And so that throughout the years has got us in separate rooms. But I'm telling you, we've got a marriage that works. We love each other, and I don't know. There may be other folks out there like
That's
that.
the main most thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So, I didn't mean to stop there.
Well, yeah,
Well, I mean-
So,
we thought maybe you snored or something, and she
you know,
kicked you out. Maybe she snores.
but anyway, I won't say, but I do because I will find myself these days when I get home, if I sit down in my chair, it's not long. And what gets me is, and people will relate to this, I think. I like to watch Antiques Road Trip, and it's on.
Oh, yeah.
So that's where they go around and they buy these things, and at the end of the day, they take them to an auction and sell them. And that's like the pinnacle of the show is watching the sale.
Yeah.
And I never make it to the sale. it absolutely drives me bananas because I wake up in the next episodes and I'm like, what happened? You know, and you can't reverse it. So
You need a DVR then.
Yeah, you can DVR it.
and you can't DVR Pluto TV.
Oh.
So you just have to watch it or wait. You know, Pluto loops, and so in about 6 months it'll come back around and maybe.
Just got to be patient.
You gotta be
Kind of
patient.
like the planet, or what used to be the planet.
You know, that's a totally different conversation. Pluto to me will always be a planet
Yes,
because that's
it
what
will.
I was taught. Roy Perry taught me that was a planet, and I believe Roy Perry.
That's right. I'm with you there.
So, Kevin, it's been a pleasure having you on the show today.
Well, thank you.
I don't know that I gave you enough time to talk or say the things you wanted to say.
Oh, yes, I'm sure you did.
So, Jeff, thank you for doing all the electronics today, and we hope to see everybody here every Thursday morning from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. And this show is sponsored by Heritage Automotive, 2122 North Locust Avenue in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. And we are your hometown Chevy GMC dealer. How about that?
Oh,
Awesome,
that was
good.
sweet.
Awesome, good. You
Yeah.
did a great job
awesome,
too,
good.
man. It's been fun and interesting and informative, and
Well, I like to
that's
laugh
what we
more
want. That's
than
what we want to
anything.
see. It's gonna be all right. Now we just got to think up a name for the show.
Yeah.
Oh.
And listen, I'll help you with it.
Okay. Let's do some AI. Let's leave here
Do
and
an
say
AI
we're
on
going to do some AI work on getting a name. So here's a name. It's got to be something about being a new day. It doesn't necessarily have to have my name in it. I don't care about that, but I don't know. Maybe we just put some criteria and see what happens.
It'll be just fine. It'll be just fine.
All right.
Well, let's see. It is, what time is it?
It's
It
2
is-
minutes till.
Yeah, we got 2 minutes yet, and
Oh, so we're taking it to the wire.
well, it might be
Man,
so-
yeah.
So this is new to me, and so
Well, it's a little new to all of us here. The transition that's happening with WDXE, I think it's fun and exciting.
yeah, absolutely.
And it's been fun here with you this morning. I'm looking forward to every week getting to jib jab, I guess, as we say, and talk about whatever. And
Yeah.
listen. I've got a lot of questions, Keith. So
Okay, that's fine.
Just get ready.
Oh my goodness.
Questions of life.
Listen, we want our listeners to call in, or if you're on Facebook Live, we want you to. What
Well,
do they do on Facebook?
I
don't
was
have
going to ask
Facebook.
you if you wanted to take calls, and we
Sure.
of course we didn't. We just didn't talk about it ahead of time. But at some point, we may want to involve the callers if you want to.
Sure, I don't mind taking calls. Just don't be ugly.
Oh yeah, we want to be nice.
This is a rated G show, PG at the
Well,
worst.
we're a family-friendly station.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you guys got big day today at Heritage Automotive.
So we do. Heritage Automotive. We've got three new cars in yesterday, and it makes us. We've got 4 vehicles on the lot that have third row seats.
Awesome.
We got 3 of the Acadia AT4s in yesterday. 2 of them are gray, and to me they look identical, but one of them costs $50 cheaper than the other one. So if you need a gray AT4 Acadia, come on up here. You save $50 by getting before the next guy gets it.
Awesome. Good.
But yeah, go. But
Awesome. Good.
those are made in Spring Hill, Tennessee, right here. It's not just American made; it's made right up the road, and so that's a great vehicle to have, third row seat. And if you're going on vacation this year, you got to have room for the kiddos and the luggage.
That's right.
You got to have them.
That's right. Well, guys, it's been a blast.
It's been a
Oh, I've
blast.
had a blast.
We'll see you next week. Okay.
All right, see y'all.
Serving Lawrence County since 1951. This is WDXE Lawrenceburg, broadcasting